threat to America. In 1991, a Chinese academic by the name of Wang Huning wrote a book called America Against America. This was a critique of the internal conflict he found at the heart of American society. These days, that academic is one of the most powerful people in the world and a member of the 7-person Politburo Standing Committee, the highest governing body within the Chinese Communist Party. America Against America also describes the strategy that Wang, General Secretary Xi Jinping, and the Chinese Communist Party have pursued in the years since, pitting Americans, who they believe to be greedy and factional, against each other to undermine our country. The CCP has found friends on Wall Street, on K Street, in Fortune 500 C-suites, in the public health community, who are ready and willing to oppose our efforts to push back. This strategy has worked well in the past, and the CCP is confident it will work again. Our task on this committee is to ensure that it does not. Thanks to Speaker McCarthy and Leader Jeffries, we have an excellent group of thoughtful legislators on this committee, on both sides. We'll be working hand in hand with our teammates on the standing committees, particularly my friend, House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul, who helped set the stage for our work through the 2020 China Task Force. Chairman McCaul's leadership produced a number of bipartisan proposals that we must build upon as we investigate and expose the ideological, technological, economic, and military threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party. We may call this a strategic competition, but it's not a polite tennis match. This is an existential struggle over what life will look like in the 21st century. And the most fundamental freedoms are at stake. The CCP is laser focused on its vision for the future, a world crowded with techno-totalitarian surveillance states where human rights are subordinate to the whims of the party. For the time being, it's still up to us to decide if that's the future we want for our children, but it won't be for much longer. I would like to introduce a joint video that the ranking member and I put together to help set the stage for the hearing.
Forward, Chairman Mao's totalitarian China will collectivize, industrialize, impossible quotas, abusive bureaucracy. The deadliest famine in history sweeps the Chinese countryside. Tens of millions suffer excruciating death of starvation.
1966, Mao's Cultural Revolution purged opposition from society through struggle sessions and public executions. In Guangxi, over 100,000 people were slaughtered. Some were stoned, buried alive, or in the cases of over 130 people, literally eaten by crazed Maoists. 1989, students' protests in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. 250,000 PLA troops stormed the city. Beijingers threw their bodies in front of convoys to slow them. Thousands of protesters and innocent citizens were killed.
1997, the Hong Kong handover. The CCP promises one country, two systems for 50 years. But in 2020, the national security law made that promise into a farce. Journalists are jailed. The opposition is silenced. Democracy activists are arrested, harassed, forced into exile, or even worse.
Today, the Communist Party of China has forcibly separated 1 million Tibetan children from their families and sent to colonial boarding schools where any trace of their culture and identity is forbidden. The Dalai Lama has called the sinicization of Tibet cultural genocide. Since 2009, 157 Tibetans have self-immolated to protest the CCP's repression.
Today, the CCP turns the Xinjiang region into a high-tech open-air prison for the millions of Uyghurs there. Some packed off to forced labor camps, while new male so-called relatives move in with their families. Unlucky Uyghurs, if found with the Quran or the wrong smartphone app, are thrown in mass detention centers. Torture, rape, forced sterilization, forced abortion, forced IUD insertion, the largest birth rate drop in UN records, a twisted new form of genocide.
Today, the party monopolizes truth. The CCP employs millions of censors. Even the Bible is rewritten. Speak out and risk disappearing. Whether you are a doctor warning of COVID, a billionaire tech executive, a tennis player testifying to sexual assault, or an activist campaigning for gay rights, AI-powered societal control techniques, brutally perfected in Xinjiang, roll out to broader China during the zero-COVID lockdowns. Tracking, surveillance, camps, families welded into their homes, left to burn alive in fires in the name of public health.
Each of these stains on human history was perpetrated by the same paranoid, thuggish, genocidal organization, the Chinese Communist Party.
One brave protester stands alone on a bridge in Beijing and gives voice to the country's frustrations. The authorities disappear him, but his words touch off a wildfire of protest as the people of China call for their human rights to be respected.